Dadas all over Kenya and East Africa. Thank you to your show. This is the Dadas Show. Karibuni sana. It's been a long 2020, and I think a long January with 700 days, and we welcome February. But February comes with its own issues. We talk about it, and we talk about the month of love. What does that mean? So in this month of February, we won't talk about love. We always do. Every February for the last 2 years, we've talked about love. So we want to begin by talking about love for yourself, and especially when you're a single person, how do you love yourself? How do you take care of yourself? How do you use your single time properly to make something of it? So to begin the story is Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome to Dada's Show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I wanted to begin by asking Evelyn, could you tell us a bit about yourself?
My name is Evelyn Butiko. I'm an author and upcoming inspiration and motivational speaker. And I run a singles ministry called Thriving Singles, and I guess that's why I'm here.
Thriving Singles?
Yes.
Okay, so why did you start to think about single people? Because I think single people are the most forgotten people in the world. It is assumed that you stay single until you are, as soon as possible, you marry and you get on with life. Being single is a waste of energy and time.
No.
So why did you start something to do with single people?
It's a journey. Being single is a journey just like any other. You know, like when you are young, you grow to a teen, you grow to a young adult, then you're an adult and maybe you're waiting now for marriage. So that span of being single, it's just a journey like any other. But for me, I indulged in the singles ministry, thought about it because of personal experience, about the mistakes that maybe I have done while dating before, and what I've experienced around me, the pain of probably divorce and separation in marriage. And thus, I thought of coming up with something that will help every single person create a base for functional marriages. Yeah, that's why I thought about singles.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a big one. So you see singlehood as an opportunity for you to create a base for a thriving marriage.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to scoot back. You spoke about having had experiences in your family. With divorce, separation, and things like that. Could you tell us a bit about that? What does that look like? What happened? I don't know that you had shared before that you don't want to share too much in detail, but I wanted you to think back. What is it that coming from a space where people were separated and divorced, what did you notice?
Those pain, of course, there's pain when separation happens and divorce. And I remember one of my closest people, like let's say a sibling, when she went through it, and there were kids involved, you know, and so it becomes a tug of war, who will remain with the kids, at what particular time, will they be visiting their daddy, and sometimes, and so the kids are the ones who suffer at the end of it all most. The pain is there for both parties, the man and the woman, but the kids suffer because I remember when there was a time when there was a tussle between the parents and the children about who will stay with them at what particular time. And so the pain is enormous, and you know, they grow up with the same pain, and that is what they'll translate in their lives. And so that is what we're trying to curb. Like if we create a base that is functional right now, starting with knowing what's right when we're single, then getting marriage with the right mindset, then we will raise our kids in that same way, and they will translate the same values to the generations coming. So that's how the change begins.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quick question, in terms of just being able to know, when do you become a thriving single? What ages do you say, now from here now, I am a single person? Is it when you move out of home and you're not married? What is that space?
I think it depends from one person to the other, because you can be single as a result of so many things. You might look at it, oh, I'm single because I've moved out of home. Now independence is here and I'm going to thrive and do things. But you can look at it as a journey. Like for me, I look at it as a journey. It's just a space of coming to understand yourself, coming to know yourself, the inner person in you, your abilities, how you can become better, even as you wait for this partner to come along and join you in this journey. You know, for me, it's a journey. It's not necessarily because I've moved out of home now I'm single. Nah. I was single before I moved out. You know, it's just a span of a moment where you really get to realize much more about yourself.
So the journey is, okay, so it's the journey from when you leave your mother's, your parents, or even you could be in your parents' home.
Yeah.
Because some people don't move out.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you are a single adult.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So you had spoken about mistakes that you made when you were dating, and that's why you began really thinking about starting something for single people. What kind of mistakes did you make?
First of all, the first mistake that I made was starting to date very early, because I started dating in high school. And you know, when you're in high school, you don't really know what you want. You only come to know what you want once you've matured in your thought patterns. That's when you realize, these are the values that I'm looking out for. This is what I want to take home as a package for the rest of my life. But in high school, you just date because people are dating, because it's a cool thing to do. I mean, let's do it. You know, you're dating because this guy is hot, this chick is hot, let's do it, you know. So we ended up dating for a very long time, broke up, got back, broke up, and then finally it didn't work out, you know. So when I look back at teenagers, I usually say, like, teenage is not a time to date, you know. Have friends, hang out, do productive things like discussions and all that, but not really dating for eros love, because most likely you'll end up being hurt. Well, there may be a few who end up getting married, but there are very few. So we don't know if you're going to be among the few, so why risk it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So mistake number one, dating too early, dating when you were in school.
Absolutely.
Kind of a bit purposeless, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so wasting that amount of time.
Exactly.
And then the mistake, was there mistake number two?
Yeah, there was mistake number two, which I did at that time. I was beginning to mature. The maturity journey was here. But then I still didn't know what exactly I'm supposed to look out for in a relationship. As I was looking at the physical attributes, if I told you how I was praying, man, tall, light skin, hardworking, such things. And it came in that package, exactly what I wanted. The guy was hardworking. He used to really treat me nice. He used to be caring, but our expectations were different. What he expected to get from me, I couldn't offer. And I think also what I expected him, he couldn't offer. And so,
okay, but he was tall and
but he was tall.
He was tall and
light skin, and well built.
He was tall, well built, handsome, and he had money.
Yeah, he had
So
money.
really.
Yes, he had a really good job.
He had the package, the package that you were kind of looking for physically, but when you connected it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. So I realized, at that point, that's when I realized that, man, it's not really about physical that much. Physical is good, yes, you have to be attracted, but it doesn't go all the long way. Yeah, so that's when I realized, like, it's not really about, that's actually when I changed. Because I used to look at a guy and feel like, how will our kids look like if I dated this guy? I used to think like that, like, man, I want cute kids. I don't want nothing less. But then I realized, man, babies are babies. Whether they're light skin, whether they're dark, as long as we are happy together, we can make this life beautiful together. Okay. Yeah.
You seem to, have you ever thought that maybe you would not be married? Because you seem to be thinking of being single as a phase that will lead to marriage. Have you ever thought that maybe, could you be single? What if marriage did not happen? What would happen to you?
If marriage would not happen, of course, God forbid, it would happen.
God forbid, yeah, I will touch wood, touch wood.
But if it wouldn't happen, I've come to learn the term purpose for my life. And so I have a lot going on in terms of my purpose. So my life is not pegged on a marriage, no. The man is just coming in to join me in my journey of life, doing purpose together, enjoying and thriving together, but not necessarily because I'm waiting for him to come and complete me, sorry. I'm already a whole, complete woman, and I have a lot going. There's purpose. I try to help people live their purpose. I try to help them like in the singlehood, to invest. I try to help them focus on their relationship with God. And that is what I'm doing with myself. So I cannot offer what I'm not offering myself. So there's a lot to do. I mean, life doesn't end at marriage. It just continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like what you've introduced, that life does not start at marriage.
Absolutely.
That actually being single is, well, while it's a phase, it's an important phase for you to prepare for marriage, or to prepare to stay single. How do you love yourself when you're single? Because I think we live in a society, and let me explain why I've asked that question. We live in a society that sort of glorifies married people. In a sense, we, you know, if you get to your 30s and you're not married, your aunties begin to pound pressure on you. I don't know if you found that to be a case. People begin asking you, "Hey, Eve, na sasa si mayai itaisha. What's that?" You know, pressure is pounded on you, and you begin to start feeling desperation. You begin to start feeling you want somebody to show up in your life. Like this phase in your life needs to end and you go to serious business. So how do you love yourself? Have you found ways to love yourself when you're a single person?
Yeah, let me talk about pressure. I'm lucky I come from a family where there's no pressure.
Oh,
I mean,
good for you.
I'm so lucky. But then talking about loving myself, I mean, there's a lot of ways of loving yourself. First of all, seeing myself through God's eyes. God loves me, and He knew this day would come and I'll still be single. And He gives me the grace to keep on going every day. So the love that He has for me is sufficient to keep me going. And then apart from that, I've learned to live my purpose. Like I said before, trying to help people in this journey of life to also know their purpose, to do what they need to do the right way, even in their singlehood as they're waiting. You know? And so I believe in giving out. That's one way of showing love. It might not be necessarily coming back to me directly, but when you give out love, love comes back to you, you know. There are a couple of things that you'll do for yourself. I mean, when you can hang out with your friends, you can take time and improve yourself. I look at opportunities of investment. I try to read more to empower myself. I try to do the best that I can do with my time to create a more deeper relationship with God in terms of business, in terms of purpose. Yeah, that's how I love myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not wasting your time. You're not kind of waiting around, waiting that if the man comes, that's when maisha itaanza.
Not at all, because there's a lot going on. He's just coming to compliment as we go on. Yeah.
Do you ever have challenges? Do you ever have moments when you really feel, "Ai, nimechoka"?
Yeah, absolutely. There are times that you feel like, man, I want to go home to my babies and a husband to take care of. Yeah. But then you know that if it has reached this time and I am covered, for myself, I speak for myself, I'm covered by God. He knew this day would come. And so He's preparing something good. For me, when I face a relationship off, I'm moving closer to my destined partner, you know. So yes, I look forward to those moments, but then it doesn't overcloud me like, my life depends on it, my happiness. I've already learned to be happy by myself, and do things that are making me thrive even in my singlehood. Yeah.
When you talk to singles in thriving singles, what are some of the challenges that they present to you? What are some of the challenges that are top of mind that people come to you with?
Most of them, they will say, either way, the opposite sex, they will always have something to complain about the other. Like, oh, nowadays, the expectations are too high.
Is that the men? The men say the expectations are too high?
Yeah, the men say that. Even us, the ladies, we say that. Because we've gotten to a place where every woman wants a man who has something. The same, every man wants a woman who... It's not like before, a man will provide for you, they will bring shopping, they will do... Right now, you pay rent, I do shopping, you do this, I do... It's helping each other. It's not like before, you know. So there's pressure from both sides. But most men feel like they are most pressured because women are becoming more expensive in terms of their demands, in terms of... And so even you can see when the young girls going around with sugar daddies or sponsors, it's all because of pressure. They want to fit in. They want to live a kind of lifestyle that they cannot afford. And so they have to find a way of doing it. So there's pressure all over. And then everybody's saying, now there are no men left to marry, there are no women left to marry. So that's why we are trying to bridge the gap, to bring back sanity, that they are available. They are available. And why won't you make a choice of being one of them? It begins with you and me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the big challenge is there's too much pressure. People expect expectations are very high.
Yeah, expectations
Yeah.
are very
How are
high.
people coping with being single? Because I think what I've noticed, according to my research, people are staying single longer. I think the average age of marriage now, all over the world, is 29, going to 30 years. Now, about 20 years ago, it was early 20s, 21. So people are staying single much longer. And so how are they coping? What do they come and tell you? How do they cope? What are the coping mechanisms that people have adopted?
In terms of being single?
In terms of being
single? I think it's some of them, not everybody. Some of us is just because we've not probably met someone that we can look at and say that this is a package I can take home for the rest of my life. But others is misplaced priorities, you know. I have a long list that I'm expecting this man to come and meet, or this woman to come and meet. And if they cannot meet it, then I'm ready to go, you know. But the question that I always ask them is that, and how are you meeting those needs yourself? Are you becoming what you want to attract? If you're becoming what you want to attract, then it's going to be easy. Because I've realized that the more I started doing these things, that empowering people and stuff, the more I started getting attracted to different forms of people who are also doing impact in society. But if you're just stuck there waiting for your list to come through, then it becomes a problem. So I believe most people have come to the realization that there's much more to do in singlehood. Even as we have a lot of lists here and there, we've come to realize that there's much to do. So even as we realize this, it gives us much more time frame to keep on waiting. And so it pulls the time frame longer. Like you get people at their 30s and they're still single. You get people at their 40s, they're still single. Because they have other things to focus on. Marriage is starting to be sidelined. Like it's something that I can do with or I can do without. Most people are not really focused on it anymore. That's why they're staying long and they're comfortable doing their life single.
Okay. When it comes to being a single person, I think, what are the opportunities that are available for singlehood? I always ask this question because sometimes maybe we live in a culture of the grass is greener. Marriage, people want to be single, single people want to be married.
Yeah.
What are the opportunities on the side of being single?
Well, single has a lot of opportunities because you see now, for example, you want to invest in something, you don't have to ask permission, you don't have to, as in you just wake up and decide that I'm going to do this thing. And that's one side of singlehood, that you can really thrive in so many things that you want. You can really be productive. Like you wake up and decide, today I want to invest in this, today I want to do this. There's a lot of room for you to grow. For me, that is one thing that I always
The fact that you don't have to negotiate
there's
with
no
someone every single thing that you want to do. You have to negotiate. Okay?
You can really grow. You can really help others grow because you have more time. There are no babies around to, I mean, there's opportunity for you to grow and help others grow, actually, even in your singlehood. So it's just about plugging in and looking at what is it that I can do right now for others, for people. And it's not about just yourself and you. When you look out beyond yourself, you're able to see opportunities in terms of investment, in terms of ministry and purpose. And then you're able to work with people and create change. Okay. Yeah.
A long time ago, when you were single, many people were sent to wars. They were put to work because it was agreed that single people have got a lot of time.
Yeah.
So the men became warriors. They were sent to war. I mean, I think the Maasais used to send their warriors to war to go and bring stuff. I mean, go and bring something for the community, go do something for the community. The girls were given a lot of work. They carried water, they cooked, they did a lot. Do you think that today single people don't seem to have anything to do?
Not at all, not at all. We have a lot to do.
What do you people actually do? If you're a single person, say for example, you have a job, so you go to your job. What else can a single person do? Isn't that why perhaps we see a lot of them they're very wild, because it seems they seem to have a lot of resources and time on their hands to sort of waste. You'll hear a lot of married people telling a single person, wewe oa tu ndio settle down, upate kitu ya kufanya na hii pesa yote. So, you know, Subaru boys, you know, running all over the place at night,
Yeah.
and all kinds of madness. Do you think that today we've kind of allowed single people to do nothing, to just sort of run amok in the society? This is just my very unenlightened thoughts. You tell me, you're the one who has a, you know, who deals with single people.
Well, it depends from one person to the other, because at the end of the day, the single people who are mature, they're doing the right thing. I'm one of them. They're doing the right thing. But there's single people who are just misusing it also this span of time, because maybe sleeping around, maybe raving around, drinking aimlessly. You know, so it's a choice. It's a stages, but it's a choice. What you do in that stage will really inform the future. Because I tell you for free, you will not be raving around right now and doing everything that is not, you're not supposed to be doing, and expect that when you get in marriage, now you settle down. People say you get married and settle down. You're not telling me marriage will settle me down. It's just a continuation. What you're just portraying right now, you'll even do worse in marriage, because now you've settled and you don't have to put the best foot forward for anyone to notice you. So what makes you think that when you settle now, that's when you'll do your best? You'll do your worst, actually.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that that you know, you've just thrown a spanner in the works. That being married, waking up to having a wedding and saying you've married somebody is not a magic pill that will mean that tomorrow you wake up, you're a different person altogether. There's no certainty. Absolutely. So whatever I do during my single days, I'll most probably continue to do in my married days.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you, what are you looking for in a man?
Of course, number one, it will be his relationship with God, in truth and spirit, because I know there are many wolves. They'll pretend they have a relationship, but no, it's not.
There are wolves. There are very many wolves.
Absolutely.
Wameja.
In many forms.
Okay.
In many forms.
There are many wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They will appear and you'll think like, man, they're taking you to heaven, but they're taking you straight to hell. Okay. I'll also look at goal-oriented. Goal-oriented? Yeah, does he have his personal goals? Where is he going? Because if he's going to marry me, he's got to be going somewhere, and I'm coming to join him in his journey. So I will have to look at his goals. Is he goal-oriented? What is purpose? What he's planning to achieve with his life, even before I join him? And then our goal together. Is it rhyming? Are we compatible?
Compatibility.
Yeah, compatibility. Those are some of the things that I look at. And then are we attracted to each other? Man, you can't date anyone you're not attracted to. Yeah, for me, it's hard. It's hard. I would look at a wallet versus attraction. No, because most people look at wallet versus attraction. Okay. And they go for the wallet. Yes. Okay. I think those are the basics that I would look at, among other factors, probably.
Amongst other factors.
Yeah.
So the first one is God-centered. The second one is what?
Goal-oriented.
So for himself. Goal-oriented.
And us. And then attraction.
Attraction?
Yeah.
No, the third one was compatibility.
Yeah, compatibility.
And then the fourth one was attraction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Attraction is so down the list. Tall, dark and handsome has really fallen.
It has really fallen because it didn't work at first. Yeah.
Okay. So, Dadas, we're going into a break. We'll be back. We're talking about love. This is the month of red and love. And we're talking about singlehood, self-love, and what to do when you're single. Because when you wear the ring, guess what? No, there's no magic pill. It is actually you and what you have done during your single day that goes into a married life. So don't go too far. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Dada's show. We are on KBC Channel 1. We had gone into a break. We're talking about Valentine's, singles and self-love. Joining us is Dante the Hype Man.
Woza.
So stop scaring people. You are now married.
Married. Nothing changes.
Sai umezeeka.
Utashanga.
Wacha kujiuza hapa kama old nini.
Hakuna.
Dante, it's so good to see you, by the way.
Thank you.
You were here last year with Audrey. Yes. You are now wife. You are bae.
Yes.
Legal.
Kabisa. Receipt.
Receipt ndio hiyo. we are so glad you actually pulled off a wedding in COVID. What was that like?
It was both a good thing and a bad thing. One, a good thing because we really cut down on expenses on a few things, like food, budget, and chini. And we were only able to host a few people, family, and very, very close, not very close friends. Actually, we didn't have our friends come. It's just family and the pastoral team. A bad thing because our friends couldn't make it, and I keep getting that a lot. So uliamua utanialika harusi, and you don't know how to explain that manze COVID weddings. But it was an easy wedding. It was an easy wedding. On the wedding day, we realized that we had more people than the government could allow. So we needed to do something about it. Story of another day. Hadithi zetu.
That's what you were telling me just now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were listening to any of us, to me and Eve, have a conversation here, or you ignored us.
What did I miss?
You missed what Eve was talking about. I think for me, the most profound thing she said was that if you're a horrible single, you make for a horrible married person.
Yes, that's true.
If you're an amazing single, you've worked on yourself, you've worked on your money, you've worked on your personality, you make for a better person in marriage. Now that you've been married for 6 months, what would you say to that?
6 months is a long time. Thank you very much for this opportunity. That's true. You know, marriage actually just magnifies who you are in the single, as a single person. So what you said, if you are a drunkard and you've been chezain chini ya maji, when you get married, that just pops, all right? Marriage, like to us, everything. Picture an iceberg. So when you're single, we only get to see a tip of the iceberg, and the whole body, the bigger
bottom,
part, yes, the bottom of the iceberg is chini ya maji. It's only you who knows how big uko chini ya maji. So marriage comes and drains all the water, and we now can see, so he was that, so he was this. So I tell single people that when you come to marriage, and again, you can't keep, two people can't keep a secret. I mean, you're introducing somebody else in your life, so there is no way this is going to be undercover. No. So when you're a single person, if you're a single person, and the single people watching us right now, you have an opportunity to right now work on yourself and start today before you get married, before you do. Because when you do, it can only get worse. Yeah. But if you're a good person, if you're working on yourself, if you're working on those flaws, because you'll not be perfect anyway, but if you're working on those few things that you feel like could be a hindrance to you achieving the best or to you having a happily ever after, keep going on. Because when you get married, now those will also be seen, and the good person in you will be, magnified. It's the same thing. So marriage inakujaga ku magnify whatever it is that we were when single. Yes. So if you're a big giver, inaonekana. If you are mchoyo, inaonekana. Whoever it is. Yeah.
Evelyn also said one other thing, and I don't know, let me just quote her on this one. Evelyn, nod for the camera if I'm saying what you said. She said something about just the importance of, if you are a single person, that you use your time well. Because we always assume that time will always be there. So I think as single people, we waste a lot of it. We just sort of hang around, we drink, because we are waiting for the real, time yani tukishaoa ndio tuta settle down, ndio tukue serious. Right now tuna waste to time, just whiling away the time until you meet the right person who you'll marry, and then the singlehood will be quickly forgotten. A lot of us are staying single a lot longer. So what are the things we should be doing, for example?
There's a lot to do in singlehood. One of the things that I say is the best time to practice things like faithfulness is not when you get into marriage, is when you're a single person. And people ask, so how do you practice faithfulness in single person? One, by eliminating things that would affect the mission and would affect this big dream that you have to want to get married. Dealing with the bottom of the iceberg. As you've heard, the tip is just a small part, and this is what we see. But deep down what is deep down. So work on it, and there is no time. You think you have so much time and you can flat around with girls, you can flat around with jamas. There is no time. the time you have right now, you can use it wisely by working on yourself. Read books, be under mentorship, go to church, work on your relationship with God. Somebody said that if my relationship with God is amazing, then there's a high possibility that my relationship with somebody else will be amazing. So let's not cry and be bitter about how single we are, how nobody gets noticed us. Get busy focusing on the relationship you have with Jesus. And if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, I'm inviting you into one right now, and you can go ahead and get into a relationship with Jesus, because that is how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And that is how I spent most of my singlehood doing. So one time, I had a bad breakup, and somebody said, I have gotten another guy who is, like this, and there was something kept telling me, you should be like that guy. So that guy was doing things that I wasn't doing. That guy was, going places I wasn't going. That guy was driving, I wasn't driving.
Just say he had more money than you. Just say Ukwe.
We are not sure about that. Malone, in Nairobi, Malone.
Just say you was a Subaru boy and you had a bicycle, and now you are struggling.
And the challenge now is me wanting to be like that person.
Yeah.
Me wanting to be like him. So nafanya kila kitu ndio nipendeke na mse. Ama ndio nikue better kumliko. Inakani kama compare. But you realize utachoka, you burn out, and then you start giving up, and then you start saying things like, I will never get married, because you've been trying all the wrong things. You've been looking for love actually in all the wrong places. How about look for love in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 4? When love is kind, so practice kindness. Love is patient. Ask God to help you with your impatience. Love does not envy. Are you feeling bad that somebody else got into a relationship? So work on yourself. So by the time somebody comes, you are at a good place. Not 100%, but you're at a good place. So that is what I would encourage guys to do and spend their time doing when single, working on themselves and working on their relationship with God.
Okay. Somebody told me that you attract who you are, not what you want. Evelyn, what do you think about that statement? That if you're constantly in relationships with people and you're like, why is this happening to me? It's like the same bad boy comes. So today the bad boy is David. Tomorrow the bad boy is John. The next day the bad boy is Michael. Until, by the way, bad boys are always, they never call Michael, they're called Mike. So one day you put it together, it finally dawns on you that the common factor is you. It's not Mike, John. Those are just elements of, what would you say to that?
Yeah, I would say it's true, because I've realized with time that the moment I started working on myself and going out and doing things that are impactful, I started hanging around also that caliber of men, So what you give out will definitely be a point of attraction towards you, But if you're giving out nasty, maybe sleeping around or in the bars, who will you attract? The same kind, So it's that simple. Who you are, if you want to mold yourself into something big and better that's attractive, then that's what you'll attract. But if you want to mold yourself into something that is just there for anything and anyone, that's all you'll attract, by the way. And then there's also something else of self-worth. Sometimes we degrade ourselves so much to the extent of anything come along. Like maybe you've waited so much. So you have to lower standards like, hey, I have to get married this year. All my friends have gotten married. I'm the one being left. No. Get married for the right reasons. Then that way, those reasons will keep you staying there. If you get married with the wrong reasons, the same reasons will be the ones that getting out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same question. You attract who you are. So if you find your Sandra, Tanya, and Odhiambo, Wangeshi, all of them.
Unajua wanawatch.
Hawa wasichana wote ukiwaangalia, it's literally the same girl. You dated the same girl, and you have to now think, okay, why am I dating the same girl?
One of the things that people need to know is that people are never the problem. In most cases, we are the problem. I am the problem. In marriage, we are advised to work on ourselves, not the other person. No mwingine achia God. If I keep wanting or desiring you to be better, what if you never get better? So what do we do? So it's always desiring that I now I become what God desires to be, me to be, and aligning myself with God's plan and God's will. And if we could do that even in our singlehood, then I think we will get into marriage a better person. If you find yourself dating the same person, then there is something that you have not dealt with. And this is the best time to start working on that something. And before you get into another relationship, how about you take some time and reflect? There's something Zeph Ananda says about, he's an author, he says about reflection. I think reflection is you being able to align yourself or see yourself in the mirror of God or something like that. So when you get to a time of reflection, you're asking God, so give me that mirror. Let me see again who you want me to become. And the moment you see that person, and if you like that person, you go for it and you start working towards that person. But if you get from a relationship, utaki kuambiwa wewe unajua, wewe unajinau, wewe ndo unajua, na kama kuna mtu mwingine akona shida na wewe ukuje mbanje. And you get into another one and you make the same mistakes. Those people don't have a problem. You are actually the problem because you are going too fast and you don't take time to reflect and ask yourself, so what does God want me to do in this next one? What is God's plan with my life and especially around relationships? So am I getting into a relationship for fun? Am I getting into a relationship to get married? Am I getting into this one for money? What am I doing here? And if you get some time off and think about that, and once it's clear, now start pursuing one, I am very sure the next relationship will be very different from the ones that you've had before. So take some time, take a break, go on a retreat, ask yourself hard questions, evaluate yourself.
Take a chill pill. Like
exactly.
Just chill out.
Relax.
For 10 minutes. Because even if you start the same exam every day and you failed, the most stupid thing would be continue taking the exam at that level. Go
and that is what many of us are doing. That is what many of us are doing. Yeah. We keep taking the same exam and failing every day. And then we say, wale wasi wana set exams, wako na shida, hawatutaki, wanatuangusha.
Okay, my other question, Dante, is, and then I'll come to you, Eva, with the same question. Do we live in a desperate society for love? I worry sometimes that we live in a society where people don't love themselves, and therefore they are demanding for love from other people. If you don't love yourself, you don't like to sit with yourself, you can't stand yourself, why would you want anyone else to love you? And you see this, and perhaps you don't realize it, but we are a very loud, noisy people. We avoid self-reflection, we avoid anything that will cause us to think. So we live in this constant need for affirmation, constant need for love, constant need to be told we are doing good, constant. That's why social media is such an amazing place. Exactly. It's the only place where you are shining every day. Yes. Your best angle is, you are seen at your best angle every single day. Yes. But it's very unreal because in reality, you can't be like that all day long. So what would you say to that?
Be in touch with the bottom of the iceberg. I don't know how many times I have to emphasize on that, because as much as unatuonyesha who you are on social media, you know very well who you really are. And this desire to want to be loved, this desire to want to be affirmed is basically coming from a place of self-denial. You've not accepted who you are. You've not accepted that this is the person I am, and I need to deal with this. But you like to give a piece of yourself, the best part of yourself, and you want people to clap for you for that part, and you don't want to confront the bigger junk of it, and get condemned or get the real truth about yourself. So why this is happening is because people are not in touch first with who they are on the inside, and number two is people think that they can find their true identity from fellow human beings. So if I want to know who I really am, I want to go on social media and ask people, who do you think I am?
Inaweza leo.
Unaget. Inaweza haiwezi. And then people tell you inaweza. And then now that is what you take, and you want to do it tomorrow and hope that will make you a whole person. The only person who can affirm your identity is Christ himself, because he is the giver of identity. And when the devil wants to destroy an institution, it takes away the identity. Majina zinaanza kufutika. And so you can't tell, was this a school or a church? What was this? And the moment you get into that place, it becomes very hard for anyone to even approach you, because they don't know what they're approaching. You know, if I can't tell whether this was a school or a cattle dip, I'm not sure what to do with it. Nitaipita too. So if you don't know, or if you're wondering why people have been not paying attention, is maybe because you still don't have a true identity. Your identity is not affirmed. And until that happens, nobody will pay attention. We will like your photos, we will view your videos, we will do all those things, but we'll just keep passing by, because that is who you are. You are not, you don't belong anywhere. Get yourself a true identity from Christ himself, because then, he created us and gave us an identity and calls us his children, all that stuff. I don't want to preach, but the reason why we are all over, the reason why we are seeking affirmation from other people is because we even ourselves don't know who we are. So we are waiting for the world to brand us. We are waiting for the world to tell us who we are. And I think that annoys God so much.
I think my other thought to this is, I see ladies, and I think we live in such an age where we must all look alike. It's funny, we live in an age of differentiation. But sadly, I don't see much differentiation. We live in an age where I think as ladies, we are so inclined to look like each other. The struggle is real. The desperation is, there's actually a sense of desperation. Like, you sense people are desperate. Sometimes when I look through my social media, I'm shocked at the lengths to which women will go to twerk, to, I don't know, they do all kinds of crazy things. And I think it's all a quest for attention, all a quest for affirmation, all a quest to be seen. Because there are so many women. I mean, there's billions and billions of us now. We must all struggle. We must all struggle. And the sad thing, I think, in our quest to be different, we have actually become quite the same. What do you think about that? Those are just my random thoughts that I have when I'm just seated over there thinking to myself, what is going on?
Yeah, their struggle is really like you're saying. What I can reiterate is just, like he said, self-care, self-love, and wholeness. If you're not whole, you'll always be looking for that opportunity to somebody or something to fill that void. And in that aspect, you end up doing funny things like you're saying, twerking and all that. And it's important to stand out, even as a single person. You know, be different, be the one who to decide to do the right thing. Not that everyone is twerking or wearing this fashion or doing this kind of makeup, you have to fit in. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to fit in. Why not stand out? Because at the end of the day, it's the inner values that we look at, and we are able to look at you and put you in a certain perspective. You know, no matter how much you try to hide and run and say like, oh, appearance doesn't matter, or the physical doesn't matter. It matters, and people will carry you the way you show up. They'll take you either serious or as a joker with the way you show up. But it all boils down to that inner care, that inner space. Have you dealt with it? Is there issues from the past that you need to deal with? Because there's a time I was watching a testimony online. These women who were really skimpily, most of them were saying they were just looking for attention. They didn't even want to sleep with men. They're just looking for attention because daddy was not there when they were growing up. So that was their way of just getting men to give them attention, you know. So it all boils down to that simple place where he's saying that once you deal with it, then you're able to come up as someone who's sprouting and whole. Yeah.
Dante, I think we need to can you be practical now? Be practical. Yeah, I know we like to tell people, and you know I love Jesus, but now be practical. How do I love myself really? Like really?
Appreciate the little things that you have. First, the only person who can love you is you. Okay? If you get somebody else who loves you, that's a bonus. But I think we have to start with ourselves. And if I can't love me, then I am doing myself such an injustice. Number two, I have to realize that God has given me so much. Am I going too far? But I have to count my blessings really. Ni nini niko nayo, cause si kila mtu akona hizo vitu niko nazo, as in I am blessed. I can do A, B, C, and D. Not so many people can do all those things. So how about I just step up and be me, and nianze kucheza kama mimi, and I think the moment I start doing that, I start to appreciate myself, and I will not have pressure wanting to be like somebody else, because kwanza nisha realize I have something of my own. All right. If it's a jamaa, I wanted to have, a six-pack like somebody else. How about appreciate the fact that you have better eyes, or you have better hands, or you have, a better brain. So wasi wa six-pack wakatoe shati huko, wasi wa brains wakafanya, kila mse ako na path yake na place yake. I think it's for you to again sit down and ask yourself, so path yangu ni gani? What is it that I am here for? What is my purpose even? Why am I here in the first place? Because then that helps you start now looking for things that you are strong at.
Yeah.
And
you know your strengths and you begin
that,
to know your weaknesses. Okay,
yes.
That's really cool. So we've, as usual, we've run out of time very fast, but I wanted your closing remarks with this thought. If you had another time to be single, what would you do? Is there anything you do differently?
Yes, of course, I would work on my patience. I would work
You've
on
already started getting impatient in married.
You can never learn. I mean,
Ish.
itachokozwa.
Has she already started keeping you 30 minutes? And she has not yet gotten a child.
Well, I know she's watching, so I'm very careful.
1 hour. Anaingia kwa nyumba anatoka. Eh?
Yeah, I would want to work on my patience more. I would want to work on my relationship with God more, because a lot of things get tested, and if one is not family rooted, it gets very easy for you to fall. Kuna mawadzi na kuaga tu kwa amefanya kitu, you feel like throwing one right now, but then do you know that? And I think I would want to do that more. Okay. I would want to work on myself more, and working on myself is not, because again it can be vague, but working on myself is really, I would want to spend some more time with Jesus and spend some more time with older people, older men. Yeah,
that's what you do more.
That's what I would do more.
Okay, Evelyn, what are you working on? What is it that you are now working on? This is really important.
Yeah, my relationship with God, number one, which has really grown. I've really grown in terms of that. And then number two, my purpose, living my purpose fully. Absolutely, I'm living it. The areas that I might not have explored yet, but I know I'll get there. And then preparing for the marriage, because I mean, it's one thing to be single and just cruise through, and it's yet another to be single and prepare for that moment when it comes. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, your time is Zimeisha, but I have to ask this one. What are you doing now? I hear you're doing something 6 months. I saw on social media.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?
So when we got married 6 months ago, we started a journey called Hadithi Zetu, and Hadithi Zetu has several babies. One of them is called Before I Do, and Before I Do is a journey that seeks to help and work with them that are single and serious. I mean, them that are dating in serious relationships headed towards marriage. Okay. We work with them for 6 months, and then hopefully we join them on their wedding day. Okay. It's not a guarantee that you will get to the wedding day with a partner, but it's just basically a journey towards helping you realizing that you have a bottom of the iceberg that needs to work, and we can assist you with that now that we are here and we understand things a little bit more. We don't have the strength to start influencing or inspiring married people yet. We are only 6 months in this, but we have a group of people that we can impact and inspire, because it's a season we have gone through and
before
survived.
they do.
Yes. So before you do, these are things that you need to know. And if you want to know what those things are, you can join Before I Do journey.
Thriving Singles, you talked about it. Before I Do, thank you so much, Dante. Thank you, Evelyn. I always learn something new on this show myself. Before I Do and Thriving Singles, when you're a single person, there is no time to waste. So have a great week. Work on yourself. Baraka.